Welcome to 1 Minute Wins with Dr. Dana Martin, the podcast where intentional growth meets practical leadership. One quote, one lesson, one action to help you lead yourself and others better. Let's jump in.
Howdy, and welcome back to 1 Minute Wins. I am Dr. Dana Martin, and today's episode, 1 Minute Wins number 46, Simplify for Success. This show correlates with 1 Minute Win number 46 in the book, 1 Minute Wins. Take control of your growth journey 1 minute at a time. You can find that on Amazon. Let's do this. This show, it exists to help leaders cut through some noise and help focus on what actually moves your success. So, how do we simplify for success? Well, this is a piece I don't think a lot of us say out loud, but we know inside. Most people aren't overwhelmed because they have too much to do. They're overwhelmed because they have too much of what they're doing that doesn't really matter. Our quote today is from Leonardo da Vinci. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. I have my hands kind of in that chef's kiss kind of way as I'm saying that. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. It's not about minimalism. It's not about being overly simple. No. It's about mastery. Okay. So today we're going to talk about why complexity quietly kills progress and how strong leaders simplify to amplify their results. Complexity kills clarity. I talk about clarity on this podcast often. Clarity is kindness is the mantra. So complexity kills that clarity. Simplify to amplify. Complexity sometimes feels very productive. There's more steps involved in the process, more approvals needed to get this pushed through, and more tools to poke at and look up your different information. But complexity, if you really take a step back, that slows decisions. It dilutes focus, and it exhausts the people, the teams. Clarity is what creates the momentum, and simplicity helps you to sustain it. Strong leaders don't add more. They remove what gets in the way, all the red tape that prevents them from doing their job. Simplification isn't dumbing things down. It's sharpening them. I once worked with a team that struggled to hit some real high performance targets. I mean, high. And they had multiple dashboards, overlapping meetings, logging out of one and into another, and the layered approval processes. So once the team lead approved, then the supervisor would approve, then the manager would approve. Everyone was busy. Everyone was working and working hard, but no one was winning. And we sat down, we did a process map, an end-to-end process mapping of pretty much everything that we did in our department. And something became very obvious. About a third of the steps in the process did not directly contribute to the outcome. So what did we do? We removed redundant reviews, any handoffs that were not necessary, and the duplicate reporting. Oh my gosh, we found so much duplicate reporting. And you know what happened? Nothing critical broke, but speed increased almost immediately. The team didn't need more effort. They needed fewer obstacles. So what's the data say, Dr. Dana? Well, a Harvard Business Review study on organizational complexity found that up to 50% of work activity in large organizations adds little or no value. Up to 50% of work activity in large organizations adds little to no value. Even more telling, companies that actively simplified processes, improved execution speed, reduced decision fatigue, and saw measurable gains in productivity. The issue wasn't capability, it was clutter. Complexity doesn't equal control, it equals drag. Oh, goodness. There's another quote I want to throw in here. Perfection is achieved not when there is nothing more to add, but when there is nothing left to take away. Antoine de Saint Exupéry. Leaders don't earn their credibility by making things more difficult, making things harder, making things unattainable, these goals and expectations. They earn it by making progress easier. Simplification is a leadership responsibility, not an afterthought for operations. So another short story here. I had seasons where I confused complexity with growth. So I would take on more projects, more commitments, more ideas than actually executing. And what fixed it wasn't working harder, it was deciding, what am I doing that no longer deserved my attention? Wow, that sounds a little hard, Dana. I mean, what, you get to decide what deserves your attention in your organization? Mostly. Every time I looked at what I was doing, I evaluated, I thought, can I do without this? Who within the organization is going to take a step back because maybe this is something I don't want to do or don't have the time for? And once I determined that, speaking with the individuals, no, we didn't need it. We thought you were just trying to give us information. Wow. Wow. So clarity, once again, is not only kindness. Every time I simplified, every time I had one of those conversations, fewer priorities were achieved because, of course, we know everything's a priority. But fewer priorities and clearer outcomes and ultimately results. There was less noise. And I had a heck of a lot more traction. And simplicity didn't limit my growth. It allowed me to shine. It unlocked more potential than I thought was there. All right. So how do we do it? How many steps, Dr. Dana? Well, today there's 4. Number 1, identify the outcome. If you can't define success clearly, complexity fills the gap. Number 2, challenge every step. Ask yourself, does this directly move us forward or move me forward? Number 3, reduce handoffs. Every transition introduces delay, confusion, and potential human error. Number 4, communicate simply and repeat it. Clarity is kindness, and clarity fades without reinforcement. All right. So, what are those steps? Number 1, identify the outcome. Number 2, challenge every step. Number 3, reduce handoffs. And number 4, communicate simply and repeat it. Simplification isn't a one-time exercise. It's a leadership discipline. All right. So, what's one thing you can simplify right now? Not eventually, not next quarter, right now. Where is complexity costing you momentum? Your action step for this episode is practical and immediate. Eliminate one unnecessary step from your process or processes today. One meeting, one report, one approval, small removals will create big relief. Simplification is an act of respect. It respects people's time. It respects their focus. It respects their energy. And leaders who simplify don't just increase efficiency, they build trust, because people who follow leaders make progress feel possible. Thank you for listening to 1 Minute Wins, number 46. If this episode resonated with you or you think it might resonate with someone else, share it. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and keep us making more of these 1 Minute Win podcasts. You'll find other resources, books, and ways to contact me, Dr. Dana Martin, at dmilm.com. And don't forget about the book on Amazon. And always remember, be the example.